We're back with more Call to the Booth. Harrison Sanford, you guys know that other guy, is Aqib Talib. And we're always honored to have Broncos royalty because, well, Aqib Talib is Broncos royalty. Well, we just kind of doubled up on that measure. Now we are joined by Terrell Davis, another person who's won the Super Bowl in Denver. I'm just going to let you guys go ahead and have fun with it. I'll just play Pack a
TD.
Cop every now and again.
What's
Okay,
up, baby?
what's going down, my man? Good to see you doing your thing with your podcast, and it's been a minute, brother. It's been a minute, so
I'm trying to be like you, TD, man. You know what I'm saying? Stay relevant. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the key to getting in the hall. You gotta stay relevant, man. You can't fade to black after you're done. Guys forget about you. You gotta stay on TV telling them numbers and keep throwing it in their damn face, right?
and that's true, and that's true, and it doesn't mean that you're not worthy. I think
Right.
people don't understand about the Hall of Fame, and when we'll talk about it, I talked to Steve Atwater when Steve Atwater was he had faded to black, was not around, didn't do any television, wasn't coming around the facility, and I said, Steve, after I had gotten in, because I realized what happens is that you're right. These voters, they're only looking at, for the most part, the guys who are on their mind. And if
Right.
you're not on television, if you're not on radio, if you're not doing your own show, they got a tough task in trying to narrow down about 15 to 20 players into one slot. So you got to just kind of make them understand, hey man, I'm around, I do care, and that's what I ended up doing. And then, eventually got in. And Steve Atwater, I told him the same thing, and I think it has something to do with it. He was more out there doing his thing, and I pushed for him a little bit more, and people did too. And finally, Steve got into it. But
Finally, he
Keith,
got in.
you ain't gonna need to do a whole lot of stomping for it, brother. You ain't gonna need to do a whole lot of talking to
I
all
be
the.
nervous. I be nervous though, TD. I don't be knowing how it go, man. Cause you see some guys who got crazy numbers, they not in. Like, all right, got like Everson Walls. That's a local, right?
Yep.
His nephew is my best friend out here in Dallas. So I done known Cubby since I was ninth grade. Spent the night over his house, everything. You know what I'm saying? I Google his numbers once I get a little older. I Google Cubby numbers like, oh my God. He got 48 picks. He got a Super Bowl. Like, he ain't in the hall though. So I'm like, oh shit. I don't know, man. It's crazy. But then you see guys like, you know what I'm saying? Guys who ain't played long like TD. But I mean, TD numbers just crazy. His 5-6 years worth of work is stupid. You know what I'm saying? So
Listen,
it's like this. Ah,
all I'm gonna tell you is you can't control it. I mean,
can't
it's
control it.
difficult, and it's a one thing that I know as bad as you might want it, you too many people play a role in you getting in, right?
Yeah.
But you've already put the work in. So
Yeah.
you can rest on that. Say, hey man, I'll put the work in. I know I'm worthy, and now it's in God's hands at this point. The voters got to see me fit to make it. You'll make it. Trust me, man. I'm not. You shouldn't be concerned about that, brother.
Appreciate that, TD. I'm trying to be like you, baby. You know what I'm saying? We learn a
Speaking
lot.
of,
We look up to y'all, man. Like even our team, we found ourselves talking about the old Broncos champion teams, and man, we just found ourselves sitting at Von crib, like, man, we 8-2 right now. Like, bro, Von like a weirdo a little bit. So Von asked shit like, when they was 8-2, man, what y'all think they mindset was? But like Von asked it like he like a scientist almost. He asked it like that. So man, we found ourselves talking about y'all so much, man, and kind of like comparing ourselves like, man, nah, you the such and such of that team, man. So who was like the little leaders of the y'all Super Bowl teams? Like, of course, John. But like, who are some of the leaders like on defense? Who are some of the locker room guys? Some of the guys the glue guys who kept the team together? You know what I'm saying? Like, the vibe guys, man. Who are some of them guys off y'all team?
We had such an amazing team in terms of
Yeah.
we had no leadership void on either side of the ball, and that's what to me made our team unique. For example, on our defensive side, we had guys like Keith Burns, right? Like people like, who is Keith Burns? Well, he was, Keith Burns was mainly a special teams linebacker. He was a backup linebacker, but he was a glue. He was part of our culture, a part of our identity. It was Keith Burns in the locker room. It was Steve Atwater, Ray Crockett, Neil Smith. We had all these guys, even, Bill Romanowski,
Yeah.
John Mobley. We had a bunch of cats were great leaders, and who are accountable to each other. Like we made it where everybody was held accountable, for our success.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that is, so we used to have every week, as you just mentioned, man, we went on crazy streaks. We won one time, I think, 18 straight games.
Right.
From 90, 98 or 97 to 98. But we weren't satisfied with that. And it was genuine. It wasn't like we were just saying it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, man, we got to win this next game because, just because it's just it's the great thing to say. No,
right.
Cats were pissed off, man. You messed up my Friday, because Friday we had hat day. And we weren't going to put no pads on. We didn't have no helmets on. And during the middle of the game, if we were down, hey, man, y'all messing up our hat day, brother. Y'all need to get together. Let's go.
Yeah.
We had a perfect blend of cats who talk, perfect blend of guys who did talk. Guys were about that, about the action. And listen, we were glad and happy to be able to leave a legacy and to look at the Bronco team, like your team, the 2015 team, that you guys put the work in.
Exactly.
And, you guys saw kind of what we had set. You see those banners in the stadium.
Hell yeah.
So, it was kind of cool to see you guys strive for that and finally hit that goal.
Hell yeah. Even when y'all used to come around though, like y'all don't feel that. Y'all just coming, y'all chopping it up. Y'all pay a little attention to the team. Like, what's up, y'all boys? But y'all more vibing with each other, right? But we feel that though, man. We like, look at them, like, there they go, bro. Look. Like that shit like gold. It was like, I remember that, like Ray Crockett and them looking like, man, look at Ray. Like, dang, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's them right there. They won it. They did it, man. So that definitely, when it's time for us to go back, man, I'm gonna make sure we get all the guys to go back, because that definitely rub off on the guys. That definitely rub off on the guys, especially if you already got the places in the pieces in place, man. That last little, when y'all guys came through, man, I feel like that propelled us though. You know what I'm saying? We actually was tangible. We could touch the champions. We could see y'all. We could see their vibe. And we like, shit, we the same. We do the same. We vibe the same as y'all. So, man, I think that definitely helped us out a little bit.
Let me ask you a question, man, because you came from New England the year before you got to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much talk about that culture in New England, that winning culture and everything they bring there, and how they just it's like a machine there. And it's not to say that Denver's different, but doesn't mean different is either worse or better. Like, what was that experience like for you? I've always wanted to ask you that, coming from New England and then going to Denver, and then kind of finding your niche in Denver.
Man, the New England experience for me was dope, man. It was, I loved it, man. People like, you say, oh, whatever you want, it's a military, but honestly, Bill don't give a damn about nothing but three things: be on time. Yeah. Don't play around with the media, and know your stuff, know your plays and stuff. And he don't really bother you on nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't really get the military this and I ain't really feel all that, man. I put it like this, TD. Bill will tell us one day, like, hey, man, look, let y'all boys sleep in this week, man. We're going to start at 12 all week. We'll be out of here. We'll be out of here about an hour and a half later. So we'll be out of here about 5:30, 5:45, 6 at the latest. But we ain't taking no lunch break, man. Just be ready to work. Eat lunch before your ass come, and we gonna be ready to work from when we get here. Like little shit like that, that's grown man shit to me, right? Yeah. And then little shit like, we come to practice. We gonna start the day off with a walkthrough, right? When I got to Denver or when I got to Tampa, I got to get there, hurry up, change, put on Broncos issue gear and shit. Like, you get there in New England, you just go, whatever I wore to work, I wore this to work. Shit, I go out and walk through like this. Like, and Bill don't care about that kind of stuff. Right. You know what I'm saying? So little stuff like that, man, that mean a lot to me, man. Just like, what is my coach worried about? I had a coach, Greg Schiano, used to make us wear polo shirts around the hotel at home games. Like, come on, TD. Yeah. I want to go downstairs to get a Gatorade and the apple, bro. I got to put on a polo shirt to do that.
You're doing too much.
You're doing too much, bro. You're not worried about football if you got that rule, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I say, man, my experience from New England was dope. But the difference in Denver, well, like Kubiak was one of those guys, like, Aqib, go in the locker room, practice. I come out with some gold shoes on or something. Aqib, go change some shoes, bro. I'm like, cool. Why are you worried about my shoes at practice? Yeah. Aqib, just go change the damn shoes. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go change the shoes. You know what I'm saying? So he was kind of on that, but I don't know. I feel like he treated us like grown men, and it was the vibe with the Broncos. That's what we didn't have in New England. Like, we had a great locker room vibe, but like once I left the locker room, I chilled with LeGarrette Blount. That's probably it.
Right.
Once I left the locker room in Denver, it's guys who almost lived at Vine House. Like anytime I go over there, it's gonna be 15 to 20 guys over there. No bullshit, TD. Like it was just a vibe, man. Like we was really, really partners, man. Like I go out, we go to eat somewhere with my wife. Bam, I see them boys over there. Like, damn, they out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, baby, they out. I'm missing. I'm here with you. They out. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was a real, real vibe. And no wonder we won the Super Bowl.
That's you hit the nail on the head, man. That when they talk about chemistry and being connected, I was Vaughn at the time. I was singing. I was the dude that everybody was at my house, and we always tried to hang out. We went to the movies, man. We went out to dinner. We liked each other beyond the field and the locker room. So when you have that kind of closeness and connection with the team, oh, the bond is unbreakable, man. And so you know, if I'm playing for you, man, Aqib, I'm playing for you. You know, I'm gonna bust my ass to make sure that you ain't getting hit, or you gonna break that long run, or we gonna speed up the pass rush so that you got time to, you know, to cover your guy. It's different. It just becomes a different connection. It's no longer just, all right, I'm going to work and I'm gonna do the things the coaches tell me to do, and then I'm gonna break wide. No, man, we incorporate that family atmosphere. So anything that you guys did, and of course, when you do that and you play unselfish ball, man, you can achieve great things.
Yeah, that's definitely real. And then as I, you know, old 34-year-old leave, I look back on all my teams that was like cold, like my Orange Bowl winning teams, my high school teams who went to the playoffs for the first time in 30 years. We ain't win no chip, but that was an accomplishment to us. Shit, we sorry ass high school. We done made it to the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? First time in 30 years. So, and then my Super Bowl team, just both of my Super Bowl teams, like what did all those teams have in common? And it's exactly what you just said, man. We cared about each other outside of the locker room and on the field, you know what I'm saying? Then was the teams where, them was the guys who, all my friends now probably came off those teams because we was off the field doing stuff and things like that. Real shit.
Right on.
TD, you have some experience with this, and it keeps coming up on his first notable anniversary of winning the Super Bowl. Obviously, unfortunately, it's happening in the middle of this pandemic, but it's the 5-year. It's going to be the 5-year anniversary of Super Bowl 50 coming up the next Super Bowl coming up next year. How did you guys celebrate your first 5-year anniversary? And what would you tell Aqib? How did the festivities kind of work when you're getting the guys back together for that first big one to commemorate the moment?
Yeah, man, it wasn't. I would say I wish we had done it, you know, bigger, and I wish we had more guys come back for it. And he's probably experiencing it right now. Is that after ball, it seemed like guys, we started to get a little bit disconnected, and just because life, you know, guys live on different coasts of the country, different places, and as far as families wise, sometimes, you know, guys are working, doing different things for that date, and so we didn't get a chance to celebrate our 5th year anniversary as much as we would, you know, would have liked. But I say, man, if you can, try to make sure those moments are special. Because I do wish, and we talk about, like right now, we have a lot of guys that we are all connected during either Zoom or on our little chat threads. We're all on there talking to each other. And so, the main thing I miss about playing the game is being able to recount some of those stories. And I was watching something the other day. It was on NFL Network on their app. And it was Alfred Williams, it was Mark Schlereth, and Steve Atwater. And they recounted, they went back to our 98 season, and they went through the playoff run, and they went through all these stories that I had never heard before because it was from their perspective.
Yeah.
My playoff run. And I was blown away by some of these stories about what happened, how they felt when this thing happened during our playoff run, when we played Kansas City, when we played Pittsburgh, went to Pittsburgh to beat them, where Cordell Stewart and Alfred was telling me in that in that piece how they were like, man, if they didn't feel good about playing the Steelers at all, and I didn't know that our defense was like, man, they do not want to play. Alfred was like, I do not want to play the Steelers. So, I never heard him say that, man, because you think as a team, I don't give a damn who we play. We about to boys. But some years later, some 20 years later, when he says, man, we never wanted to see the Steelers, I was like, wow, like I'm glad I didn't know that then.
Yeah.
but
real.
also, but also, like some other cats talk about the Vikings that year. We didn't play them in the Super Bowl because they had lost to, or the year afterwards, they had lost to the Falcons. And I know some guys, you know, behind closed doors saying they didn't want to see the Vikings. I'm like, I never thought my boys would be saying this kind of stuff. On the schedule, we about to go smack these boys, man. But that was funny to see that, man. So listen, make sure you guys stay connected, Aqib. Make sure you keep your boys connected. You guys, 5th year, 10th year, 25-year anniversary, man, celebrate it, man, because it's an accomplishment that a lot of guys who play this game will never, ever get a chance to experience that. And so we gotta just live that moment.
Football is back. So you know what that means, man. We like to put on our favorite jersey, get some beer, get some chips, and lock in on Sundays. So don't forget to lock in with MANSCAPED, though, man, below the belt. We got to lock in and make sure we nice and neat below the belt so our wives and our girlfriends don't have nothing to say at night after the games, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you spend all day on the couch watching the game, and then you try to get romantic, but you didn't do the part that you should have done before that. You didn't treat your halftime correctly when you should have been taking care of yourself. You alluded to it. It's the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0, and they got everything you need. First of all, you know, Aqib, when we were younger, we didn't have the technology that they have now, where you could actually have the Lawnmower 3.0. It's a skin-safe technology. It's waterproof. It's cordless. You can bring it in the shower, get all the spots that you really need to get. They also have the Crop Preserver, which is a ball deodorant, so you can stop from the chafing, especially if you're not wearing appropriate boxers. Fellas, wear good boxers. And then also you have the Crop Reviver as well. So you have the Perfect Package 3.0, all these things that you need to make sure that you're on top of your game when the games are over.
Definitely, man. Manscaped.com got us covered, guys. I can remember, you know, just going into the shower and grabbing whatever razor, doing what I got to do, hopping out the shower, dumping baby powder down there. But, I mean, we don't have to go through that kind of stuff no more, guys. We got Manscaped.com. Use the promo code NOFLYZONE. You get 20% off and you get free shipping. That's on anything you need. You get you a trimmer. You get you a little deodorant, man. I say you good to go with them two things right there, man. So, NOFLYZONE is the promo code. 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped.com, man. They got us covered.
Your balls will thank you.
Yes, sir. Definitely. We trying to, man. We talk a lot. I just was talking to D Ware the other day. You know what I'm saying? Talk to Vaughn all the time. TJ just had a little baby. So, man, it's a bunch of guys, even guys who like do radio and stuff, like in Denver, man. Some guys do radio, man. They hit me up. Key, man, I'm Tyler Columbus. I'm like, oh yeah, Tyler, come on now. Yeah, I'm doing whatever for you, bro. You was on the chip team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. And then look, it's funny you say that. I was just talking to Vaughn maybe like 2 weeks ago or something. We were talking about, I don't know how we started talking about it. We were talking about our AFC championship game. That's because both of us say like, man, well, here's Super Bowl 50. And mine, we talking about mine. He asked me about the AFC championship game because I always tell the story. Like, that was my favorite game. Like, not even the Super Bowl. Like, the AFC championship game was my favorite game. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about his. He was like, man, his Super Bowl, he felt like it was like a movie. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I was in it like, bruh, this is like a movie right now. What was your favorite game? You know what I'm saying? As a Bronco.
Yeah. My favorite game had to be Super Bowl 32. I mean, it's just because that's the one. That's the one that everything we do, we're trying to get to that moment.
Yep.
And you kind of ask yourself, like, you know, as a kid, I've seen the Super Bowls. You know,
right.
I've seen them. We see it. We see how big the moment is. And now you start asking yourself the question when you're there, like, how does this compare to what you thought it would be like? And I remember that whole week.
Is this the first one? Is this the first one or the second one?
This is the first one.
Okay.
I was trying to downplay it, just because I'm better. I play better when my mind, when I just make everything seem like it's no big deal. Right. I start thinking it's a big game, man, and then I can lose sight of. I can have a horrible game. Yeah. So I've learned this kind of technique of just, all right, man, just another game, nothing different. You know, 100-yard field, same stuff. 11 guys on defense, man. I've seen this stuff. Nothing, man. It's right. I mean, they put their pants on the same way we put our pants on, man. Same thing, right?
Right.
And I remember coming back in from pregame warmup and then going back out for the regular game. And they call your name, you got to run out the tunnel.
Yeah.
Aqib, that's when like a lightning bolt hit me in my chest. Bro, this ain't no normal game.
Right.
My chest started pounding. I'm like, oh, I gotta keep all this stuff in because I know this is a normal game. And my body's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. Come on out. And then they call you to run out. I ran out there and Carl went nuts, called the name. I was like, bro, this is it. There is no tomorrow. Like, this is it. There is no more. Oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure that I go through my checks.
Nah.
I know my protections. Let me make sure I understand this next play. That's it. It's time to roll, man.
Time to roll after that. So your next one though, look. So your next one, did you have that same? No. It was like, yeah, I'd have been here before, huh?
I was like, oh man, we about to smack the Falcons, man.
Yeah. See, look. On my second one, I wasn't like, oh, we about to smack the Patriots because we was playing time them. But I was like, but as far as like how you said the feeling, I was like, yeah, it's a chip. I'm watching everybody else like, yeah, look at him. He in his first chip. He's super excited. He's still scrambling. He's texting people.
He's watching teammates.
Yeah, I'm watching teammates. Like he's scrambling. Oh yeah, man, mom, where y'all at? Y'all coming down? It's just like days before the game leading up. I'm just looking at everybody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was enjoying seeing other people go through it for the first time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Marcus Peters and AD, I was enjoying watching all them boys go through it for the first time. It was the second time I went to the chip, it was really like, yeah, this is just another game. But the first time I was like you, man. I was like, oh shit. I was trying to make sure everybody's straight at home. I was trying to keep my mind right for the game. It was a lot going on. It was a ton going on that week, man. So,
and it's different.
Yeah, it's just different.
It's a different week altogether. Just because it's it's 2 weeks really. I mean, play a game in 2 weeks, and there's a lot of time to overthink the game plan. Mike Shanahan did a great job with making sure we did everything before we went to San Diego.
We did the same thing.
Yeah. You take care of all that stuff. Of course, John Bender. So the understanding how important it is to just take care of the stuff. Put the whole game plan in before you get down to whatever the fight is. I'm glad y'all won that game too, man.
Yeah, we had to win that thing, man. It was. We felt like, see, I almost had that championship kind of feeling. I almost had that in the AFC chip because I'm like, man, we win this game. That momentum, it's over. That momentum gonna storm us through I don't care who we playing. The Cardinals, who we got, the Cardinals or the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh nah, they neither one of them offense can't do nothing with us on defense. So this the one. If we're gonna have a problem on defense, it's gonna be Tom Brady in this game right here. So that's the game I had. Like, all right, man, I gotta make sure everything's straight. We gotta play perfect, man. We lightweight was pressing, but we ended up playing a good game, man. Offense came out and gave us something. Good run game.
They give you a little bit. They give you a lot.
They gave us. Hey, they was toting that pill, man. CJ was toting that rock.
Hey, a whole lot, but y'all have me sweating for a minute. I'm like, oh.
Hey, it came down to the wine, didn't it?
It does seem likely that Super Bowl champions will be coming out of the AFC West for the time coming, and I'm referring to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. They look like they have a great future ahead of them. Obviously, you guys have seen what Justin Herbert has done there for the Chargers as well. The Raiders, now in Las Vegas, have a number of draft picks to build on their capital going forward. Yep. It's a strong division in terms of you looking in the future and obviously the present with the Chiefs. Where do you guys think the Broncos stand in terms of being a formidable team, being a playoff team, eventually getting to the status of Super Bowl contending team? Where are they right now? What does the front office need to do to kind of get them to go forward? And TD, I'll let you start first.
Yeah, for me, when I watch them, they're a young team. I believe they're about 25, averaging 25 years of age. I think they're definitely top 5 in the youngest roster in the NFL. And when you have a young roster, man, you have to kind of temper expectations a little bit. I mean, this is not a team that's built to win right now. They have a young quarterback in Drew Lock that they still are trying to figure out if he's the quarterback. Obviously, he finished last year in 2019 strong. This year, there's been a mixed bag with him. You know, he has some games where he's looking good, some games he hasn't looked good. So there's still people who are not convinced that he's the quarterback. You got like the receiving core, Jerry Jeudy. You know, he should be getting better. KJ Hamler, Noah Fant, Big Albert O. I mean, the talent, I think the talent, it should be there. But again, I think we have to be patient. And we want, on this level, there's this idea that you build a team and they're ready to win right now. And it's really no look toward the future. So, yeah, Denver needs, they're going to probably take their lumps this year, maybe even next year.
Yep.
But I think, maybe it's 2022 where I see them being a contender. The defense side of the ball is always going to be pretty good. You see what's happening there. Obviously, Bond didn't play this year, so that's a huge loss there. But yeah, man, I like this. I mean, listen, I'm biased, and I like to say Denver's going to be a playoff team this year. But as I watch them, I just don't see. I see this team having to do some more work to start to get to a level where they can compete consistently in their own division. With the Raiders, with the Chiefs, Chargers, they can compete with the Chargers right now. The Chargers playing completely, to me. They're underperforming.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's my thought on that team, man. So, just be patient, man. Hopefully a few years from now, this team looks good.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say the same thing though. When you got a young team like that, I think it's a bad thing because you're really not going to win now. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good thing in the sense that, man, we're going to find out who our next Terrell Davis's is and Chris Harris's is. Like, you finding that out right now. So I think that's what happened. You rebuild, you get young guys like that. You find the guys who the real professionals out of these young guys, the guys we really could depend on and lean on. You know what I'm saying? So I think this year, next year, they'll figure those guys out. And then you'll know if Drew Lock one of those guys or not. If he's not, then you bring in that free agent class like we did. You get a quarterback in there who could take these guys to the next level, and then you bring some key pieces in on defense that can lead that defense, man. And it's a collaboration of that young core you had for a couple years, and then them old vets that you bring in, boom. And then you see what you got. You make your run at the chip. If it work, it work. If it don't, boom, we start over. Then you do the same thing. And I think football that's football. You just keep doing that over and over again, trying to match up that team. And I think they got some good young players to stand on right now, man. And in a year or two, they match them guys with a nice group of free agents. And I think they'll be ready to do something if Drew Lock the guy. But if he's not the guy, one of those free agents would be a quarterback who they bring in.
That's a good question.
How much can identifying or not being able to identify your quarterback of the future kind of hurt the trajectory as a front office in terms of discovering your team? Because again, while the Chargers have been disappointing, I feel there's a sentiment that Justin Herbert is the quarterback of the future, regardless of how they're playing as a team. I think a lot of people think he's put enough good stuff on tape where you can at least feel confident in that position. Whereas I feel as if there's not a level of that high level of confidence in Drew Lock. Do I have that? Do I have that right?
Yeah, you have it right. Listen, it's the biggest chess piece out there. It's that you have to get that position right. No matter what else is going on, if you don't get the quarterback right, it's hard to build things around him because you don't understand. For example, your quarterback is going to dictate to you the kind of scheme you run. It's going to dictate to you what kind of help the quarterback is going to need. Yep. It's going to dictate to you what kind of support he's going to need from a defensive standpoint. There's some team or where you're going to distribute your assets. If you have a quarterback that can put 30, 40 points on the board, then maybe defensively you don't need to go get a high price free agent because you understand that, listen, we just got to keep a team to 20 points a game, 25 points a game, and we have a chance to win. And we've seen that. So, but if you don't have a quarterback, your defense better be shutting people down, 15, 14 points a game in order to win games. And that's asking a lot. That's asking a lot. So that, as we've seen, that position is the most pivotal chess piece you can have. And the worst thing you can do is be a team that's decent, that wins about 8 games a year, 9 a year, and you never have a chance to go up to get that number 1, number 2 pick.
Exactly.
I'd much rather we either got to just stink.
Be here or here. Right.
Yeah. We can't be sitting here every year. Oh, yeah, they're decent. They're winning 6 games, 7 games, 8 games a year. and their quarterback is just good enough to win that many games,
Exactly.
that's when you're in trouble.
That's false. That's false hope, man.
That's when you're in trouble.
TD, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. You was one of the guys. I'm like, man, y'all get in touch with TD, man. I always wanted to chop it up with you. You know what I'm saying? Just hear you talk about them teams. Because like I said, we always looked up to y'all when we saw y'all around the building and everything, man. So appreciate you taking time, man, and coming on Call to the Booth, baby.
Anytime, Aqib, you know, anytime you holler at me, man, I'm there for you, brother, man.
I already know.
You family, watch you for many years, winning that chip, Super Bowl 50, many times locking down folks.
Yes,
I always laugh when you're taking people chain too, man. Sometimes
I got you, TD.